Hey, Rally Victor here about another episode of the Roundup series where I talk about multiple things in regards to the Second Amendment. I don't go into great detail, but rather I just big picture it. Series more intended for those who maybe don't have a lot of time on their hands but still want to stay informed around the Second Amendment. That's what I do here. Today on the Roundup, we're going to be talking about ATF pistol brace rule, a couple updates in regards to that situation, gun control in Washington State, assault weapon ban in Colorado, gun control in New Mexico, and also the state of Missouri's Second Amendment Preservation Act having been found unconstitutional. Okay, a lot of things to talk about. Gonna get right into that. I will say real quick, I did have my wisdom teeth taken out last Friday, as I said I was going to on my last roundup. All's good with that. All good. So nothing really to say there. So we're going to get into all that right now. Okay, up first, we're going to be talking about ATF's pistol brace rule. Okay, so normally I save the best for last. In this case, because this is an update, this is the best news I have for this week. Going to be up first. So talking about, like I said, ATF pistol brace rule. Real quick, what that is basically ATF decided to change their opinion on firearms with attached stabilizing braces and basically rule all those pistols to be short-barreled rifles, therefore illegal, need to be registered under the NFA. Okay, that's very simply what it is. Now I've talked about some of the lawsuits that have rolled out against this. I believe there are six. There could be a seventh by now, but I believe there are six. I've talked about a couple of them. We're going to give an update right now on one of the suits that I have talked about, which is the state of Texas, Gun Owners of America, and Gun Owners Foundation versus ATF in regards to the pistol brace rule. They're going for a preliminary injunction against that, okay, in the suit. So, that's a good thing. If that would basically, to make it very simple, would basically stop this rule temporarily until the courts can, make a decision on that or oversee that rather. So basically, hold up, just stop temporarily is basically what that would do. So that's a small update on the situation. A good thing. Will they get it? They might not. It's hard to say, right? Worth keeping an eye on. That's really all there is to say on that. A little bit of movement on one of these suits. So I thought I'd talk about it. And also now, another thing in regards to the pistol brace rule. Okay, so the director of the ATF, Stephen Duddleback, has been called to testify in front of Congress in regards to the pistol brace rule. So, to make it very simply, it's basically Congress is basically saying, "Hey, bud, come and explain yourself," which is a good thing, right? As far as our side goes, the Second Amendment side, not very good for him most likely, but obviously that is good for us. So a couple of quick updates in regards to the pistol brace issue. I'm not going to spend more time on it. There's not much movement in this situation, but a little bit, which is great, right? So what really all there is to say. So I'm going to move on to the next topic. Okay, right now we're going to be talking about my state, the state of Washington. Got a couple updates here. Not good at all. Okay, so we're going to be talking about two bills. House Bill 1143, that is going to be the permit to purchase, okay? Where you got to get a license to even buy a gun, but you got to get a background check to buy a gun anyway, so there's no real reason for it. But anyways, that's what that is, permit to purchase. And then also House Bill 1240, which is a so-called assault weapons ban, okay? Both of these bills House bills have made it out of the House in this state. Okay, so basically that means now they're going to go to the Senate, and they're basically just one step closer to passing. Now, unfortunately, both these bills will probably pass. Okay, so I'll say what I always say. Do what you want to do as far as standing against these bills. Go ahead and do all that. But the anti-gunners have the numbers. The facts are, but just looking at numbers, both these bills will probably end up passing and becoming law. Okay, now the permit to purchase will not go into effect until January 2024. Okay. However, and very unfortunately, this is going to really get a lot of us. The assault weapons ban, so called assault weapons ban, unfortunately has an emergency enactment clause, which means the second the governor signs the bill, the second that pen leaves the paper, it's effective law. Okay, so that's extremely terrible. That is absolutely horrible. This bill is even more restrictive than California's assault weapons ban. Nothing good at all as far as that goes. And like I said, unfortunately, probably going to pass. Now, with that being said, this is not going to stand long term, okay? Because we got the Bruin decision and other things, right? The list goes on. This isn't going to stand long term. Neither will our magazine ban that they passed last session. Neither will the permit to purchase, as we see in Oregon. Has not yet gone into effect because they can't. They're not allowing it. So, point is, these won't stand long term. They'll fuck us over temporarily though, right? And that's better than nothing to these anti-gunners. So that's an unfortunate update out of Washington State. Let me know if you disagree with me, if you think I'm maybe being a little too doom and gloom with it, if you maybe have higher hopes, but I don't see any way that these bills don't pass just because of the makeup of the legislators. So that's really all there's to say on that. Going to move on to the next topic. But if you live in Washington State, keep all this in mind. Keep an eye on it. Okay. Okay, now continuing to talk about so-called assault weapons bans. The state of Colorado, all right? We've talked about Colorado a little bit ago. I don't know if maybe like a month or two ago, but they said they were looking to ban so-called assault weapons. They want to do it and all that. They've tried before in Colorado. Well, the bill is here. This bill's going to be House Bill 1230. Okay, I just realized, similar number to ours here in Washington. Anyway, that's beside the point. House Bill 1230 is going to be the assault weapons ban for Colorado. It looks to basically define assault weapon and then ban it from manufacture, import, transfer, sale, offer for sale, or whatnot, right? So if you live in Colorado, look into this, do what you can to oppose this. Colorado has more of a chance than Washington does of stopping this bill. So, like I said, if you live there, try, because you might actually be able to do it, stop it. It's a little the situation's a little better for you in Colorado than here in Washington, but still not great. Colorado is really one of those states that's trying to go from okay for Second Amendment stuff, middle of the road kind of deal, looking to go down that absolute New York, California type of path. I often try to talk about those type of states on the channel. Colorado is definitely one of them at this point. So anyway, that's the bottom line though. That's the assault weapon bill. They're looking to pass it. could be stopped in Colorado with effort. So if you live there, do what you feel you need to do. Anyway, that's really all there is to say there. So we're going to get on to the next topic. Okay, so continuing to talk about those middle of the road type of states that are looking to really take that hard corner. New Mexico, all right. So talking about a few bills out of New Mexico. We're going to start talking about they're trying to yet also ban so-called assault weapons. Okay, so their bill for that is going to be House Bill 101. Okay, that is an assault weapons ban bill. Okay, New Mexico, out of the three we're talking about today, Washington, Colorado, and New Mexico, that are all looking to ban so-called assault weapons, New Mexico probably has the best chance of stopping this and not letting this pass. The bill is currently stalled. It's currently going nowhere, okay? That doesn't mean anything really because, look, a couple weeks ago, and for a few weeks before that, we thought the Washington State ban might just die too because it wasn't going nowhere. But no, they pulled it back in, and now we see what's going on. So that just because this bill is currently stalled in New Mexico doesn't mean anything. You still got to keep an eye on it, watch it close. And if they do try to pull it back in, definitely do what you need to do to stand against that. But point is, keep an eye on it. It's currently stalled though. Okay, now moving on to a different piece of gun control. This is going to be banning those 18, 19, and 20 from purchasing firearms. Okay, a bill looking to do that. It's going to be Senate Bill 116 in New Mexico. This bill is currently stopped. It's currently going nowhere, but not dead yet. So it could still be pulled back in. So again, it's pretty much the same thing. Keep an eye on it. If it gets pulled back in, do what you need to do to stand against it. And we got one more piece out of New Mexico, which is going to be House Bill 100, which is a 14-day waiting period to purchase firearms in the state of New Mexico. That is ready to be voted on in the House in New Mexico. Okay, so you really got to get on that one now because they're really trying to get that right. So just a few things out of New Mexico to keep an eye on. Do your best to stand against. If you want to do that. Yeah, just a few updates out of New Mexico. Haven't been talking about New Mexico as much as I should, just because there isn't a lot of information coming out. Honestly, I often struggle to find things regarding New Mexico and gun control for some reason. So I don't really know why that is. But anyway, here's a couple updates right now. If you live in New Mexico, definitely keep all this in mind. But we're going to get on to the next topic. Okay, last but not least, we're talking about an extremely terrible situation out of Missouri. Okay. Missouri's Second Amendment Preservation Act has unfortunately been found unconstitutional. Okay, so let me back up a little bit. What Second Amendment Preservation Act is a law in Missouri that basically says state and local law enforcement in Missouri are not allowed to enforce federal firearm regulations, and they are not allowed to assist with enforcement of federal firearm regulations in the state. So this law, there's a lawsuit going on against this, which is going to be United States of America versus the state of Missouri. Well, a judge has, in this case, sided with the United States rather than the state of Missouri. So unfortunately, Missouri's Second Amendment Preservation Act is not currently in effect. Now, it does sound like the state attorney general is going to appeal this decision up to the Eighth Circuit. But in the meantime, this law is unconstitutional and not in effect in Missouri. So, the bottom line is, if you live in Missouri, this is bad for you. If you live in Missouri and you have things that you're only able to have because this law protected them, this law is not currently in effect. Do what you need to do to keep yourself, keep yourself safe. That's really all there is to say on that. I'm not breaking this down in detail because that would take like 10 minutes. If you want more information on this, look into it. Guns and Gadgets did a good video. You could also read this decision if you wanted. In any case, not a good situation, especially if you live in Missouri, but really any other state that has similar laws. This is not a good situation. So keep it in mind. Is what it is. Look into it further if you want, especially if you live in Missouri. But yeah, that's really all there is to say on it. So I'm gonna call it good there. Well, it's been another episode of The Roundup. I hope you learned something you didn't know already. That's the point of this series. If you want to continue seeing episodes of this series, you can subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like to see on The Roundup or my channel in general. Anyway, that's all for this week, so I'm going to get out of here. Goodbye.